I was promising you an update, and this is the update. This is the update you have been expecting. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. I haven't been reflecting. I have been keeping my awareness just enough to know that I am not aware, and I've been running on that system consciously, and always reminding myself, you're not aware, you are not aware right now, you are not aware, you are not aware. Having to push everything aside as I have returned to Australia, and don't get me wrong, I've been succeeding like a mofo. Kicking goals. All the paperwork and bureaucracy and dealing with people and family. Vinny. That's Vinny. Big solo kangaroo. And I've just been pushing everything aside, and I will have set aside 2 weeks in January when I will basically have to deal with all that, and I'm going to a whole nother state. I'm going to Tasmania, the island state, although it is connected to the mainland, so then they're an island. Anyway, and I hope to get work there and have a bit of time to recalibrate myself. It's pretty crazy being back. I don't know how to assess that. I don't know how I am. There's many interesting things about being back, not just in my home country, but in a country where everyone is speaking the same language as the voices inside my head. Has the positive side of I don't notice the voices inside my head as much, but at the same time, I don't notice the voices in my head as much. Can be very dangerous. I'm not optimistic, but I am realistically foreseeing. Positive would be too strong a word, but realistically foreseeing my ability to adapt to it. Finding professional help in regards to a psychologist or psychiatrist is going to take longer than I thought. I am waiting still for a call that, even though I've called myself and been in multiple times, I am still waiting for a phone call from the government agency that is meant to help with this particular scenario, and that was 2 weeks ago that I was meant to get the call, which I originally started everything rolling literally like 2 days after I got back. It's very expensive here. I've gone through all my money. It's all gone. I'm on New Start, which is enough to cover the basics and not much more. If I was actually living in a city, it would not be enough. And if I was paying full rent, it would not be enough. But at the age of 38, I have officially moved in to my mother's house. But she is aging and at the higher end of the spectrum. So it's beneficial for both parties. I am never thought I would ever be the kind of person that would move back in with a parent. I think if my parents were still together, I don't think that would work. I don't think I could enter a couple's dynamic. That would be a disaster. But my mother's been living on her own for I don't even know, 10, 15 years, something like that. And I've been living on my own for years also. It's a pretty interesting dynamic. Of course, we've had our first blow-ups, but nothing too major. Took 3 days seeing my sister before we had a explosion at each other, but we exploded through it, which was pretty impressive. Neither one of us walked away, and we were both kind of, I guess, setting our boundaries in a way, not consciously. Jet lag. Oh, jet lag. Wow. So, yeah, I survived on like nearly no sleep for the first weeks. It was crazy. I would go to sleep and then wake up like an hour later, if that, and would then just be awake. And in the end, we'd get like 3 hours of broken sleep and then do a whole day of things and organizing and stuff. And even had my school reunion, 20-year school reunion, which that's an interesting story, actually. I was expecting it to be like full on, you know, and so I did the strategy of where I get there early, like one of the first ones, and then I'm a constant rather than dealing with a full-on influx of anxiety as you're approaching a group of people. You're dealing with little steps of anxiety as people arrive, and instead of being like the uncomfortable, anxiety-ridden, obviously awkward, struggling to deal, breathing through guy, you're just one of the mainstays. You're almost, there's a saying, ich bin nur der Landschaft, something like this. I am only the landscape. Yeah, so that was really nice, actually, to reconnect with a lot of those people. None of this ego-driven, like I'm so successful bullshit there. It was really nice, definitely the Steiner, some of the Steiner philosophy coming out there in the group dynamic. What was interesting, though, is as I saw these people again after so many years, some of them I hadn't seen literally in like 18, 19 years, their faces would morph into the old face and then morph back into their current face. And then that was like locked into my mind. And that's how now when I picture them, that's what happens. I have the old and then the new. And it's really interesting. So I guess I was keeping my awareness enough for that situation. And yeah, half the country's on fire. Today was in the 40s, but now it's like, I don't know, feels like mid-20s, perfect temperature, cool breeze coming through. At night time it drops dramatically, a bit like the desert, and then in the day, I mean, how do you can't acclimatize. I've been doing a lot of physical work, but still eating, stress eating. I'm gripping onto my routine with my fingernails, but the journal has fallen to the side. Still do my morning exercise. I still do my meditation. So meditate, rotate everything, exercise. That's about as far as my routine gets. My diet is out the window, or not my diet, but my levels of consumption are higher. I definitely fell back to a vegetarian position, but I still try to buy vegan. But yeah, there's very few vegans here within the groups that I operate in so far. And yeah, been settling in down here at the island, which I mean, it's paradise for mosquitoes. Ah, mosquitoes. It's the first time because I'm in the breeze here. I'm hoping it doesn't ruin the sound, but the mosquitoes don't like wind, so this is quite nice. But as soon as you go over there, there's lots of mosquitoes over there. And yeah, I don't know. That'll be a later update. But I am alive. I am going good. Is that believable? Felt like that was really believable. There is really like a lot just waiting around the corner for me. And my solo time. Going to Tasmania on the 30th. On the 31st, I'm just driving off into the bush somewhere. And I'm just going to have a solo New Year's and see what the universe throws at me. See what my mind churns up. And hopefully I'll record it. And hopefully you will see me adapting. Right? What can you guarantee I'll be doing? Trying. JKT. Jack.